Second question. Okay, you've said that the government is in charge, but we hear a lot from some people, including the NDP, who have said, go to court and get an injunction. What's wrong with that, you stupid law professor? Well, to be honest, the answer flows from what I've already discussed. Everything's wrong with that. I've done on my Twitter feed yesterday a fictional example of me pretending to be the judge. So maybe I'll just do that again, because I will never be a judge. Like, no one is insane enough to appoint me to the bench. I don't think I ever want to be a judge anyway. So I'm going to pretend to be a judge. Okay. I am Justice Sankoff and I'm sitting on the bench. And coming before me today is the Attorney General of Alberta. They're requesting an injunction that will prevent the activities that are going on down by the border. So it is essentially the Attorney General of Alberta versus the Freedom Convoy. Okay, so I'm coming in, Your Honor, everybody rise. Okay, I sit down and I've got the case in front of me. Okay, today we have before us the AG Alberta versus the Freedom Convoy. Oh, just what I needed, another family law case. Cue the laugh track. I love that joke. I got good run out of that on Twitter. Okay, so that's what I'm hearing. I've got the family law dispute before me. What is it you want? Well, AG Alberta stands up and says, well, what we want, sir, Your Honor, is for you to issue an injunction telling these Freedom Convoy people that they can't do what they're doing. And I listen to this and go, okay, and Freedom Convoy, we oppose. Okay, so now I start thinking about it. And I try and put my judicial brain to the test. And I go, okay, well, so government, what you're asking for me is a judicial order. Are they breaking any laws down at the border? Well, yes, we believe that they are. That's why you need to issue an injunction. Okay, so they're breaking laws. Now, let me get this straight. I just want to check that I haven't misunderstood anything. Like, you are the government, correct? Yes, we are. Okay. And based on a discussion I heard on some random YouTube podcast by some really convincing professor who said that, this is, you are in charge. And I tend to agree with him. Why do you need me to issue an injunction to allow you to exercise the law that you already possess? Do you need a new law like to cover this conduct? Because you can go enact a new law in the legislature. No, we don't need a new law, like, because we already have this. This is the AG Ontario, Alberta. We have a law already. We have lots of laws. They're breaking so many laws. It's funny. We just want you to issue an injunction telling us to go and enforce the law. Okay, says the judge. I'm trying to figure out why I would do that. Like, what is in it for me, really? Like, I'm going to issue a law, an injunction, an extraordinary remedy telling you to go enforce the law and power that you already have. Like, why? Why would I do that? Well, says the AG Ontario. Now, this is when they mistakenly say something. So they probably wouldn't say this in court, right? Like, I don't think they would, but it slips out. So, well, we feel more comfortable if the decision comes from you, Your Honor. Well, yes, I bet you would. I bet you would. Because if you let me do it, right, then, like, you get to say a judge ordered us to do it. And then, like, you get some political cover, don't you? Right? Because, like, then the judge issued the order. Well, I'm not going to do that because I'm a judge. And this, to me, has no need or process. It has no legal force. There's no need for me to do it. So why would I issue an order allowing you to get political cover? Now, hold on, everybody. I want to be clear because I didn't introduce to the beginning. Through these podcasts, you're going to hear that I disagree with Jason Kenney from time to time. Like, who doesn't, right? Everybody does. I just want to say this. In an article that I posted on Twitter, Jason Kenney said firmly and authoritatively, we don't need an injunction. I have the power to do this. And on that issue, and possibly on that issue alone, I agree with him 100%. So I don't want any of this to assume that I'm attributing this fictional AG Alberta to Jason Kenney. As long as he sticks to that idea, I think he's right. There's no need to get an injunction. This is the NDP of Alberta and many other commentators on Twitter who think the police are this independent, freewheeling head of authority that need to be commanded by the judiciary to do anything. Like, to me, this is insanity. Like, can you imagine if like we had aliens coming down the road and they were like coming to invade Alberta, and like Jason Kenney wanted to direct the police and say, well, we should probably stop them from entering the province. And the police, for whatever reason, said, well, we think we should let this play out. And like, could you imagine if the way this worked was that like the police would have to go to a judge? Wait a minute, you're saying no? Let's head to the judge and get an injunction. And we'll give notice to the aliens because, of course, they have to be part of this fair process. Like, I have no idea where this idea came from. Like, to me, it's not just an idea that I think has no bearing in law. I'm kind of amazed that anybody is asking to do this. Like, that's how surprised I am. But I'm not making this up. This is like all over the place. Like, reputable people are saying, go get judicial authorization. I can't stress enough that like I don't want anyone to ever have to get judicial authorization when it's the government. Now, some of you are thinking, well, what about in Ottawa? They obviously got judicial authorization. Well, like in Ottawa, it was different, right? The injunction was obtained by members of the public because they were upset that the government wasn't doing anything. Like, I'm all for that. Like, if the people of Coots are fed up with Jason Kenney, go get an injunction and say that your personal interests and liberties are being affected by this convoy. I don't know who's going to enforce that injunction because apparently that's at the core of this problem. That's an operational problem that I am not competent to talk about. I'm just the lawyer. I can't tell you why no one is clearing out the border or making more aggressive demands of the convoy. I have a lot of questions about that, but unfortunately, like most of the rest of the world, I have very few answers.